Greetings, Earthlings! My name is Zero Jake and welcome back to Space Engineers. Last episode we were working on our lovely production facilities, hence why this area is mostly bare. So we've got assemblers and modules that I still haven't welded, even though I said I would. That's kind of a recurring theme these days. But yeah, we have a new production facility that we built last episode. Now, you may realise that this corridor looks a tiny bit different. What I've done is I've moved over the corridor to the stairs along a few, and I've also moved the access point to the conveyor network on a few, and there's a new conveyor line that's going upwards, and we've got some holes here. Now, the reason is because the previous way that we had our base set up is that this would be a door here, and then we'd need another door about here in order to have the proper airlock door. So what I've done is I've moved around some of the corridors going off into the separate rooms, and I've added a new area where we can have an airlock door, and then we can place buttons and what have you in order to do things. We'll have a interior door, or perhaps just a regular airlock in here, so that you can go through here. Since this bit doesn't really need access to the rest of the base, and since this is an airlock, it means that 50% of the time we're going to have the ability to not worry about the conveyor system being broken. Though it does mean that if I need to access that and that's depressurized, this opening would depressurize the entire base, so maybe it's not a good idea. I could have it go out to here if I wanted to, which might be something I do. Anyway, so this is the things I've done on the lower ground, expanding into a facility here which is going to be the reactor room when I need it, because currently I don't. That's something else. If we go up the stairs a bit, noting that everything is still in pitch darkness. This is a bad example since these have lights on them, but yeah, everything is still in pitch darkness. I've moved the medical room up here. Ooh, lovely. It means that we respawn, well, should respawn in a pressurized environment, so we don't have to worry about dying constantly. Here we're going to have some emergency blast doors, just in case we need them. You know, because everywhere needs emergency blast doors these days, so in case things get a bit too complicated to stop. Yeah, for some reason the game decided to lag a bit. Yeah, so we've also got the mining ship in there. And then, I've been a busy bee, haven't I? I've extended the corridor along here, I've welded some bits up, and in here we've got a new cargo area. So we've got a azimuth large cargo container which can hold 12 million litres of stuff. And I've moved everything into here. And then we've also got an oxygen processor here, so that we can have that. So it means that we've moved everything except the reactor away from the hangar. Once the reactor room is built, which is downstairs, I need to go downstairs anyway, then we should be in good shape to actually use the hangar to build new ships. Maybe I'll use the shipyard mod in order to do it. Who knows? Anyway, let's do that. I might build a big area. I may extend the size of this hangar so that we actually get a bigger area to work with. Now, today what we're going to be doing, and the reason why the mining ship is not in the correct position, is we're going to be extending the mining ship, because currently I'm finding it quite annoying that it can only reach 50 meters before cutting out of power. And that's with the batteries. Not enough batteries that I've got anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend the midsection along a bit so that we can fit an azimuth fusion reactor, which I have nowhere. Lovely. Good work there. Azimuth fusion reactor. It's we're going to have to move it at least 2 in order to get it working. And I may decide to add more stuff onto it. For example, I may add another set of these on the back to make it so that we can fly easier. Yeah, essentially. But in order to do that, we need to destroy what we currently have. And I'm just going to double check that we have nothing of value except for fuel. With this, however, I have no clue what that is. You can't grab it whatsoever. I think it's something. But we're just going to break it, as you do. And I'm going to place the remains into here. There is nothing else in here. We've not got an auto sorting system, so all the things that I remove, I can then place back without having to go and manufacture anything else. Yeah, let's swap that back up again. As you can see, quite a lot of materials went into producing this mining laser, and I don't want to lose it again. No, I don't want to lose it. I haven't lost it yet, so I don't know why I said again. Yeah. So I'll be back in a second once I have grinded off everything that we need to get rid of. Okay, so we're back here in the midsection of this mining ship, and I've gotten rid of everything that we need to get rid of at the moment. Now, I want most of this infrastructure to stay intact, really. Reason being that it's kind of nice to have it here. However, what we're going to add is the azimuth fusion reactor here, and then along a bit more we're going to have the cargo container, right? Now I might decrease the amount of batteries we're having here, simply because it's easier to do that. However, I do lose the power cells, which is the reason why these things aren't welded. But if I get rid of you, and you, obviously using the wrong grinder, that we have more room to, well, it means that this thing is not as long as it needs to be, because we do not need 9 batteries. We only need 6, really. The batteries are really only there just in case we run out of fuel, and if we run out of fuel, then we can use these batteries to to get closer to home before we run out of energy. Perhaps even dock, which would be useful. Now, currently the hydrogen is disconnected from everything else, so that might be a bit annoying. I also want to get rid of these reactors, because currently they're doing nothing to help right now. Which means that this reactor is the only one that's currently active. And I'm going to keep it that way, because I'll replace this one last. Because it currently doesn't make a difference whether it's here or not. These things need to go, because I won't be able to get rid of them once I change things. And also, this one is kind of keeping the atmospheric thruster still on the ship. So with that done, we can now get rid of these, noting that we're probably going to use a vast majority of the resources here in order to rebuild the reactor. So actually we're going to place it in here. So we're going to use resources in here to start building the reactor, and then once we've gotten to that point, we'll use the rest of the resources we have in the base to finish it. Noting that these are going to be replaced by conveyors, like here, so that we can have hydrogen thrusters on the side, more hydrogen thrusters on the side, so we can maneuver properly. I'll keep the amount of hydrogen that we have right now. I might add more depending on how far this vessel increases in size. Right. Okay, now with that done, I just need to get rid of you. Did I gain? No, I gained scrap metal. Oh well. Right, now that that's done, I still have to power cell this thing up. We're going to go and place our azimuth fusion reactor, like so. Now, the way that we're going to connect this is we're going to have a conveyor pipe. Once we have actual conveyors here that go into this area here, and it will also allow us to have some form of thing that uses a conveyor on the top. I don't know what that might be. Maybe we should have a hydrogen thruster facing downwards. But until that point, I'm just going to keep it not there. Anyway. so now that we have this, now what? Well, we'll start welding it, obviously. We need 6,000 reactor components, which, by the way, is the most expensive thing that we have. We currently have a bit less than 1,000, so it's going to be quite a while until we have this thing welded up again. And also, it uses quite a lot of resources to build, which is kind of annoying. I'm probably also going to stop saying which is, because otherwise I'll kick myself. I don't know how I'm going to do that sitting down, but we'll see. Now, we can obviously see that we're low on a few resources here. Most notably, we need 255 superconductor conduits and like 5,100 reactor components, which I do not believe I have the resources for. Maybe I just did this in a ham-fisted attempt to get things done, because I don't have the gold for it. I don't have the silver for it. Okay, that was kind of a bad idea. We'll live with it though, because that's what we. Well, it still has a reactor that can be powered, so not everything's wrong. We just got rid of some of the thrusters, which we can easily replace. Yeah, this is not going to be a good thing. We have 245 reactor components here. I guess that's okay. We'll get somewhere with them. Yeah, we need reactor components. We also need some metal grid, and we need some large steel tube. We'll start off welding up as much as we can, and then we'll go off into the environment, into the unknown, and get the rest of it. I'm going to need to queue up 16 metal grid and a bunch of steel plate, as per usual. Yeah, I'm going to need to queue up a bunch of steel plate. Right, let's get 100 no, not 1,000, 100, thank you. And a bunch of steel plate, if you want to do that at some point. Luckily we have the cobalt and nickel for this. We also have the iron being a massive thing that we have. However, we're going to need to go and get some silver and gold, because silver is required, I think it is. Silver is required for reactor components, so that's 1.67 silver, and we need about 1,000 of them. So, no, we need 5,000 of them, so we need about 6,000, 7,500 steel. I'm just going to say, we need 10,000 silver. That's it, not steel, silver. We need 10,000 silver, and we need, only 300 silver. We might have, give me a second. No, we still only have 4 gold. That didn't change, Jake. That didn't change. Right. We're going to need to get some gold as well for the superconductor conduits. Though we could technically use the ones that we have in here, but then I won't have enough for the mining laser. Actually, no, that's a good idea. Since I'm not going to be able to have the mining laser operational if the reactor's not operational, may as well get the reactor operational. Need to stop saying operational, otherwise I'll kick myself in the face. Again, no idea how I'm going to do that. Yeah, so give us your best shot. Yeah, we just need a bunch of metal grid, and I'm going to take a bunch of steel, and we're going to weld this thing up. Who am I kidding? We still need reactor components. Good point. Yeah. I think there's going to be a mining expedition ahead of me. Not really an expedition, but more of I need to go get iron. That's what it's all about. And I need to... Maybe I should have waited until I got the resources and double checked I had the resources before I did anything like this. That would have been good to know. I don't know, 20 minutes ago, before I started tearing this thing apart. Yeah, so if you could remind me at some point, so that when I start doing things, make sure I have the resources for them, especially when it's the mining ship, that'll be very, very useful. Thank you. Yeah, you can stop building steel plate now. We're tired of steel plate. We have enough steel plate. You can stop anytime you want. Let's get 30 large steel tube. We have some, yes. I forgot we did. Right. Okay, yeah, so we only need 4,855. Let's just go insane for a sec here. 4,855. Right, we're going to need 32,000 gravel, 24,000 iron. Let's double check that we have those, because if we don't, then that's also another thing added to the list. We've got 25,000 gravel. We've got a certain amount of iron, which I cannot see. Because I was blind. Or because we have no iron. That might be a good thing to look for. No. We have run out of iron again. My God. Yeah, so we don't have the iron at all. We don't have enough gravel, and we don't have the silver. Lovely. I love it when things go according to plan. Lovely. Okay, so I looked up how much silver ore I'm going to need to pick up. It's quite frightening. We need... Okay, so silver has a 10% ore to ingot ratio. So 10% of the ore that you get will turn into ingots. The rest of it is kind of not used whatsoever. This is improved slightly by the refinery's yield modules. But that means that we're going to need 10 times the amount of ore that we need silver. We need 6,000, no, I'm just going to go for double, 10,000 silver-ish. I'll probably go for 9,000 silver instead, which means we need 90,000-ish silver ore. It's quite a bit. We're also going to need quite a lot of iron. So I'll be back with you in about 10 billion years once I've done that, noting that I'm going to need to rebuild this ship again in order to have things functional. Why do I do this to myself? I don't know. Right, I will be back in about 2 days when I have got the resources. Whilst I'm in transit to other locations with actual resources, just showing you the new everything that we have, noting that we've not set up the... I've just realised that one of the hydrogen thrusters is not set up properly. So... I'm also noting that the other hydrogen thruster is not active. No, hang on. No, let me correct myself. None of the hydrogen thrusters are active because the hydrogen is not connected to... Oh God, I'm going to hit myself. No. Do not activate. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go out here. Right? We're going to get rid of this. Right? Since it's not attached to anything. We're still floating, by the way. Moving at about 5 meters a second. We're then gonna stick one here. Right? No. Yes. We're gonna have to stick one there. Right? That means that one of our hydrogen thrusters is working. And then I need to add another one so that the other hydrogen thruster is working. I'm currently running on inertia dampeners disabled, just so that I don't fly off into infinity when I go off into deep space. We do not have anything that we can attach to this, unless we want to run on the... how long until we die? Not long. Give me a second. Let's just rotate so that the current acting hydrogen... No, because neither of the hydrogen thrusters are currently working. So I'm just going to brake a bit so that we don't lose ourselves as quickly as we were. We're then going to, and this is the trick, right? This is the trick. No, this is not the trick. Do the thing that you're supposed to. We are going to, let's have a look. Right, let's inertia dampen this thing. So we've got this connected. The oxygen generator isn't connected whatsoever. We need this connected to that conveyor, so that that conveyor connects to the cargo container. Oh, God. Why do I put myself in these situations? Right. We can't grab. Okay, right. Let's go grab the oxygen from here. There is none. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to not do that. We're going to grab this. Stop wanting to grind that. I don't want to do that. I want to grind the oxygen tank, you doofus. Come on, just space engineers, behave yourself. Right. Okay, this doesn't have the stuff that we need. Great. Why does it have to be so hard? Right, I'm going to break this conveyor junction, right? Now, in an attempt so that we can save on resources, we're going to use conveyor tubes as our means of putting things where they should be, which means that we might have no motors left. Okay, well, at least that's better than nothing right now, because what we need is to get over here. We need to break this as well. Okay, then we're going to have place the conveyor junction here, which means that we will have one hydrogen thruster active, which is better than none, and then we're going to place a curved conveyor tube here. We need to find 6 motors, right? We don't need the 2 interior plate, we just need to find some motors, which we can probably harvest off of one of these atmospheric thrusters. There we go. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I call harvesting everything. Is this thing still moving? No, it stopped. That's not displaying any form of hydrogen, which might be a bad sign, or it might be a good sign. Let's double check. Right, so we're current, yeah, that's working. That's working. Good. This is too much hassle. This is way too much hassle for me. Yeah, so I'm going to be back again, and we're going to have resources this time. Because if I don't come back again, and we don't have, if I come back again and we don't have resources, I'm going to get slightly miffed. I would just like to announce that we are 10% of the way of getting the silver, we have the stone, and we also have all the iron that we need. And I've got like 3 minutes until I need to start editing this episode. Hooray! So we made it back, and I think we have enough. I think we have enough silver. I'm just starting to move things over. We're out of hydrogen. Hooray. As in, very close out of hydrogen. Now I'm going to do the modifications to the mining ship in another, in between episodes. You get the point. We're adding a reactor. The rear end of the ship I may mod around a bit, but you kind of get the point already. So I will leave it at that. And join us next time, where we should have a fully functional mining vessel that doesn't mine 50 meters into the ground and then stops because it got a bit power hungry. Next episode we'll be working on something, maybe the reactor room, so that we can finally move this junk away. But until then, my name has been Zero Jake. End transmission.